Hey guys, I'm back. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you watch till the end, and I hope you enjoy the video. So I'm gonna do my best to keep my what I'm talking about correct with the pictures in front of you, but if I mess up, sorry guys. The Amber Alert, that's my concern right this minute. Because you see, we still haven't gotten a straight answer about why the Amber Alert was put into place. Don't get me wrong, I am very glad that there's an Amber Alert out. It puts more attention onto the fact that Summer went missing, and it helps get, her face, her name, and all the information out there. I'm not knocking that at all. But my point is, why did they choose to put an Amber Alert out? Because you see, there are 4 criterias for an Amber Alert to be issued. And I've checked in the state of Tennessee, I've checked all over. At the end of the video, there are a few news clips from all over the country: Utah, Ontario, Denver, Colorado, and all of their criteria are pretty much exactly the same. Okay, let's start out with the fact that they reported her missing on the 15th. And of course, the time of day keeps changing also. They reported her missing. They called 911. 911 comes out. The grandmother and them tell, we've looked as much as we possibly could, and then, we couldn't look no more. How is that possible? You keep looking until you find your child. Okay, then, of course, TBI, Hawkins County law enforcement, they searched the entire area, under the house and barrels, everywhere. They've looked everywhere for her. Can't find anything. So the next step is to do an endangered child alert. So they issue that later that night. Okay, the criteria for an endangered child alert is as follows. Issuing an endangered child alert from TBI's notify the media, specific regions, and give all the information about the child that's missing. That's for kids that wander off, get lost in the woods. Um, they just don't know where the child is at. So we go on. Right here, it's plainly states on June 25th, this news, Channel 11 News, are requesting the 911 calls, which normally, if a few days into a case, the 911 calls are released, but these aren't for some reason. And they are told that it's part of the investigation, and that if things change, then, that they'll notify us. I'm really starting to think there's something up with this case, folks. I mean, I guess we all are. TBI spokesperson Leslie Earhart said circumstances surrounding her disappearance remain unclear. She added that investigators did develop information that the child was taken, and if the child was taken, and develop a suspect or vehicle description, that information would be immediately shared with the public. How do they develop a suspect? I would like to know that. This incident is currently still an active investigation. I am unable to release the request information at this time. That was the executive director of Hawkins County Emergency Communications District. So the Amber Alert was issued, and it was issued about 11 a.m. the next morning on June the 16th. But what are the criterias of an Amber Alert? Right, you ask? So they must have found something out, and I'm wondering if it isn't in the 911 calls that they are refusing to release. In my opinion, that is the only, not the only thing they haven't released, but that's the key thing. Because from the time they got there and searched for Summer, named the endangered child alert, till the next morning, the only thing that changed was they would have had the 911 calls to go off of. What was in those 911 calls that would cause them to go from an endangered child to an Amber Alert? Anyways, the Amber Alert was issued on Wednesday the 16th. they chose to upgrade to a statewide Amber Alert for summer at 11 a.m., like I said, because of new information and growing concern. Wonder what that new information was. Remember in the news press or the news conference that Leslie Earhart did, she said they received new information, but they could not release it because it was part of the investigation. They didn't come up with any new, they didn't come up with a vehicle or someone who had kidnapped Summer, because if they had have, they would have released that information. That's the whole purpose of an Amber Alert, is to give the public the information so they can be on the lookout for them. To me, the key is those 911 calls. Okay, so the Amber Alert was issued, and this is the following criteria must be met for an Amber Alert to be issued, okay? Here we go. Number 1, the person has to be 17 years or younger. 2, the child is in imminent danger or bodily injury or death. There is a description of the child, the abductor, or their vehicle, and on a request from a state agency or authorities. The key thing there is there was no description of any abductor or suspect or a vehicle that the child was supposedly took in. So, and that's the thing. Those 4 criteria have to be met before the Amber Alert can be put out. So all the other 3 things are met. Where is the abductor or the suspect and the vehicle, or the vehicle? Something is not right here. Right here again. The child is in imminent danger or bodily injury or death. There is a description of the child, the abductor, or the vehicle. Investigators confirm that the Wells father has a criminal history, and Sheriff Ronnie Lawson says everybody's a person of interest till we find Summer. Now, why would they stick in there that the father has a criminal background? Goes right back to those 911 calls, and when something they heard on the 911 calls caused them to start checking into Don and Candace Wells, I'm telling you. And that's why they issued the Amber Alert the very next morning. I promise you, because there is no suspect of they've in fact since then ruled completely out an abduction.
Breaking news now. Officials are holding a media briefing about the Amber Alert we just told you about for the missing 5-year-old. Her name is Summerwells. Let's go on now to live coverage with the TBI.
A lot of investigation by 19 different agencies. Last night, we had approximately 60 to 80 people searching in the woods, with a number of law enforcement officers doing the investigation also. Today, we've had over 100 people in the woods searching throughout the whole region. We also have agents with the TBI and the FBI assisting my office. We jointly investigating this whole circumstance. Our main goal is to find Summer and find her safe. Case to rest.
Do you believe there was foul play involved, and is there any history with this family?
The family are cooperating, and it's really too early to tell. We're still basically just gathering information, and we're in the search mode right now.
Around 11 this morning, it's switched from missing child alert to an Amber Alert. What goes into the decision of putting that Amber Alert out? Can you clarify the difference between the two?
Sure. After the initial search and as we developed more information as part of the investigation, our team made the decision to elevate the alert to an Amber.
And what's the difference between those two alerts?
An endangered child alert is a mid-level alert where a child could potentially be in danger. An Amber Alert we issue those when we believe a child is in imminent danger of bodily harm or death, and it's the most severe alert.
Since it appeared to be that she walked away from the home, why was it upgraded to an amber alert? Can you clarify that just a little bit more?
Well, the bottom line is we don't know where she is at this time. Again, there was the initial search. We acted, and the sheriff's office acted on the information available at the time. And as we learned more in the first several hours into today, it led us to issue an amber alert.
Well, when the amber alert was issued, you said there was new information that led you to believe that Summer might be in more danger. Can you expand on that a little bit?
I can't. That's part of the investigation.
Sheriff Lawson mentioned earlier that.
And as you can see here, TBI says that every state has different criterias for their amber alerts, but pretty much it's the basic same rules across the board. As I said, later you'll see a few different clips from different areas, and they're pretty much all exactly the same. You know, here's the 4 criterias again, and once again it says there is a description. This is one of the things. It says there has to be a description of the child, of course, the abductor, or their vehicle. And of course, here are all the different alerts in the state of Tennessee: amber, silver, endangered child, endangered young adult, endangered adult, or missing children. Like I said, folks, I do not get it. What was the problem here?
Good to know. All right. Thank you, Dan. Well, you've likely, everyone out there, received an Amber Alert on your phone. But what is the criteria that triggers one and makes it effective?
Yeah, Robin Hayden explains now in this week's Safe in 60.
Amber Alerts are scary, but Utah's system is very successful. Hi, I'm Robin Hayden, and this is your Safe in 60. We don't see them very often, but when we do, the Amber Alert is credited for over 90% of successful child recoveries. Police receive hundreds of calls of missing children every year. Fortunately, most of those children are recovered quickly by either the parents or police. To keep it effective, the Amber Alert is only issued when it meets all 4 of the following criteria. The child must be 17 years of age or younger. Law enforcement must believe the child has been abducted. The child must be considered at risk of serious bodily injury or death, and there must be a description of either a suspect or vehicle involved in the abduction. As you can imagine, if these rules were not strictly followed, just in Utah, we would see several Amber Alerts every day, rendering it useless. Utah is very successful because of how we follow those rules and how the community really steps up when one is issued. With your Safe in 60.
Amber Alerts are for very serious situations. We take them very seriously. That's why you don't see them every day. An Amber Alert is a media broadcast that allows law enforcement to use the help of the public in finding someone who's been reported missing, specifically a child. There are 4 criteria that must be met in order to activate an Amber Alert. First, they must be reported by law enforcement, who will then make the request to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation to issue an Amber Alert. Second, there must be significant amount of information that would assist locating the abducted child. License plate information, a description of a suspect, something that can be broadcast so that the general public knows what they're looking for. Third, there has to be reason to believe a child was taken against his or her will, a kidnapping. Fourth, there must also be significant reason to believe that the child is in significant danger of serious bodily injury or death.
Observed the vehicle and then called 911.
Ontario Provincial Police Sergeant Pierre Gauthier is the service's Amber Alert Coordinator. The OPP is responsible for issuing alerts if a written request comes in from any of the police services in Ontario. But he says there are requirements.
It must be a child under the age of 18. You must have a descriptor of either the child, the suspect, or the vehicle, or all 3 or 2 or whichever. And we must believe that the child is in immediate danger of serious bodily harm or death.
If the threshold is met, OPP send information about the child, the suspect, and/or a suspect vehicle to the National Alert Aggregation and Dissemination Service, better known as Alert Ready. It's up to them to push that alert to Canada's broadcast and wireless distributors. When it
And as you can see, TBI keeps reiterating that they have new information and a growing concern for Summer's well-being and her safety. And that's why they issued the Amber Alert. Well, I'm assuming that's why, because according to their own guidelines, Summer does not meet the criteria to have an Amber Alert put out. And once again, I will say, I am not criticizing the fact that they put one out. I am very happy they did. It brings more attention and faster attention to the fact that she was missing, she's out there, and everyone needs to be looking for her. I'm just saying there's something fishy going on in this investigation. There had to have been something in those 911 calls that caused them to go from an endangered child alert to an Amber Alert, because we do not have a suspect, an abductor, or their vehicle. No one can even pin down where Summer was seen last, whether it was inside the house, walking down the road, at the bottom of the hill. We do not even have a correct time as to when she went missing. Was it at 4:30? Was it at 5:30? Was it at 6:30? Was it early afternoon, like Leslie Earhart originally says? Is it late evening? I mean, early afternoon is 1, 2 o'clock. At 1 or 2 o'clock, Candace was supposed to have still been in town. Early after or early evening would be 3 or 4. You know, when did she go missing? And where was the last place she was seen? I mean, everything falls back to those 911 calls. That's in my opinion. But if you will go back and listen, everything changed from that night till the next morning. And the only thing that happened was they went over the 911 calls and they searched the house and the property. I mean, nobody came forward and reported anything. So what caused the switch in the alert? It was the 911 calls and Candace and Dawn's past criminal records. Okay guys, that'll be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you watched till the end. Like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time.